Some of us are good, some of us are bad. We're just dumb sheep. But Jesus said, my sheep know me. I know them by name. They hear my voice. They know my voice. The only way you and I can ever learn to know the voice of Jesus, recognize the voice of Jesus, hear the voice of Jesus, is if we learn to pray. Now, right now, you might be thinking, pray? Get real, buddy. Like, I got my life to live. I got my life to live. You're an old guy. No wonder you want to pray. But you know, without God in your life and without prayer, you're only going to be living like 2 or 3% of your life. It is impossible for you to live life to the full without God. Look at the world around us. The rich and the famous people, you know, the stars, the sports stars and the movie stars and the recording singers and bands of it, all of them are filthy rich. You know, all of the men are hunks, all the women are babes, right? They have it all. They're famous, they're popular, they're gorgeous. Everybody loves them. Everyone's, oh, you know, they walk into a room and everybody gets all gaga over. None of them are happy. None of them can stay married longer than 6 months. Look at Tiger Woods. Filthy, filthy, filthy rich. It's unbelievable how much money the guy has, right? Why? Because he has a talent. All he does is he smashes this little white ball around, you know? And people, millions of people watch. Oh, you know? He's married to an absolutely beautiful woman. He can't be faithful. That is sad. Do you know why? Because he doesn't have God in his life. I don't know if you heard, since his crazy thing, you know, all the news about Tiger Woods, he's starting to deal with this problem, and now God has found a place in his life. It's very interesting. It's very cool. But without God, it's impossible. Now, I can tell you that from my own experience, because I had this conversion experience, and for a number of years, I was really into it. And then, my life just kind of went off the rails. Without going into any details. Basically, you know all the kinds of things, all the stuff that your parents would never want you to do? I did all that stuff. All the stuff that my brothers were into, I thought, oh, I could never do that because they're bad guys. I'm a good guy. I did all that stuff. And I've never been so unhappy in my life. Did all the stuff the world tells you to do. Everything that's supposed to make you happy. And I was really unhappy. I had no peace in my heart. No joy. No meaning. No purpose. My life was going nowhere fast. And finally, like the prodigal son, I finally clued in. And I realized, you know, what am I doing living like this? Life was way better when I was in relationship with God. And by the grace of God, I had enough sense to come back, right? Like the prodigal son. Really, I was in a filthy pigsty of my own making. And I realized, I don't have to live like this. And I came home. I had to repent. I had to confess the really serious, bad, and wrong things that I had done. Admit it and confess it and repent of it. But the Father took me home. And since then, it's been a continuing journey, a very hard journey. Now, being a Christian, being a Catholic Christian, is not easy in our world. Let's not pretend it is. But it's so good. Look at the Olympic athletes. Look at the kind of sacrifices that they make. Right? They can't just go partying, do whatever they want, whenever they want. They have to have a strict commitment to a training schedule. They have to be careful about everything that they eat. They have to work hard, day in, day out, push themselves. To go more, 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 more. Harder, harder, harder. Faster, faster. Why? To compete with the best in the world in the hopes that they will be the best in the world in their event. Huge amount of commitment is involved. And they're willing to do it, make all those sacrifices. Why? Because they want a prize. And you and I have the opportunity to make that kind of commitment for an infinitely greater prize. The prize of heaven. The prize of Jesus Christ. And the prize of real joy. Real purpose in your life. Real meaning in your life. That's the prize. But without daily prayer, it's impossible to begin. It's impossible even to really begin any serious move in that direction. If I were to say to you, I'm going to use an analogy, okay, a parallel. If I were to say, I'm here to talk to you tonight about breathing. I'm here to try and convince you that you should breathe every day. That it is to your detriment to stop breathing. That it's serious. The consequences are serious. If you stop breathing, it's not good for you. You're right. You would just say, hello, yeah. You know, grab a brain, of course. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Right? If I were to say, I'm here to talk to you about the benefits of eating. I would recommend that you eat pretty much every day on a regular basis. Breathing and eating is very important. Right, you would say, well, yeah, obviously, because if I stop breathing, if I stop eating, if I stop drinking water, what will happen? I will die. Yes! Duh, die. Yeah, exactly. And yet, even more important than our bodies is your soul and mine. My soul is that eternal part of me. The part of me that is like God. And if we don't pray every day, our soul dies. In the spiritual life, there's a principle that if we're not making progress, we're losing ground. If we are not making progress, we're losing ground. There's no such thing in the spiritual life, and whether you like it or not, you and I are we have a spiritual life. We do, because we're created that way. If we don't make progress, we lose ground. There's no such thing as standing still. In fact, I don't have time to go into all tonight, but over the hundreds and thousands of years of the church history, great saints and mystics, those who've been really close to God in mystical prayer, in supernatural prayer, have taught us about what the journey looks like. How do you become mature spiritually? And you go through 3 stages. It's a bit like, children and adolescents and adults. Okay? There's a parallel in the spiritual life. There's a beginner stage, a middle stage, and a mature stage in the spiritual life. But here's the problem. If we don't keep growing through these stages, we don't just stay a beginner. You can say, oh, well, I think I'm just going to stay a beginner. I like to be a beginner in the spiritual life. That suits me. Yeah, I'll just be a beginner. I'll just stay in the beginning stage. Doesn't happen. Can't happen. It's not natural. Right? For an adult man my age to say, oh, I would just like to stay a youth. I really miss playing with my little trucks in the sandbox. That was so much fun. I'll go back and do that. Right? There'd be something major wrong with me if I wanted to stay in that. I really like it when my mom fixed all my meals. I didn't have to go to school. I think I'll go back to that. That was fun. Like for an adult, man or woman, to be thinking like that and to desire that, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. Right?